Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us here on KREM 2 News at Noon. I'm Laura Papetti. We appreciate you being with us today, and we're going to take a look right now at that fire. Spokane Fire is still on the scene in Hillyard. It has now caused evacuations for some people in that area. We're talking about toxic chemicals being released. KREM 2's Regan Gallo, she is there with the very latest on the investigation. Regan, what do you know?
Hey Laura, like you said, I'm in Hillyard right now, and Spokane Fire says this building behind me broke out in fire this morning. Now this building makes they make lithium ion batteries and they also ship them. Spokane Fire tells me that they still don't know the main cause of the fire just yet and that the investigation is still ongoing. But we do know from Spokane Fire that there were no injuries because the battery fumes can be toxic. The nearby areas have been asked to evacuate. Those areas are East Central Avenue, North to East Francis, and North Myrtle Avenue, East to North Florida Street. We asked Spokane Fire this morning the risk of the battery fumes. Take a listen.
So the batteries themselves are fairly stable. In shipping, they keep them at a lower voltage and percent. So that they're more safe. They're perfectly safe when they're putting them together here and then continue to be shipped out. The worry is once they begin to run off, the gases that come off of them are extremely toxic.
Spokane Fire also told me at this time they do not expect those evacuation zones to get any bigger. They say they do have air monitors up monitoring the fumes. We did see crews in hazmat suits on the scene, and Spokane Fire says they are working with the Department of Ecology to learn more. Now, Laura, I will be on the scene for the rest of the day. We are hoping to learn more from the Department of Ecology. We are planning to meet with them in just a couple of hours. We will continue to report on this. I'm reporting live in Hillyard. Regan Gallo, KREM 2 News.
Regan, thanks so much for the information. All right, so we are tracking that story, and we're tracking weather as well. It's been howling outside on this gray, chilly day in the region. Meteorologist Thomas Patrick, he's in the studio with us today. Thomas, people want to know, of course, when will the wind stop? And then, of course, we've had some weird weather, so what can we expect next?
Yeah, I know this month has been incredibly busy between the cold weather, then the snow, then the floods and the rain, and now just the wind to cap it all off. Today, obviously, incredibly windy outside. We've seen wind gusts already above 50 miles per hour. So we're in that threshold, usually above 40 miles per hour, where there is a threat for tree damage and power outages across the region when our winds are at this strength. The wind advisory itself does go until 6 o'clock, so basically for the rest of the daytime hours, we will anticipate that these winds are not going to let up by very much, if at all, for the next several hours here. And here are the latest reports. The purple shaded area, which is blocked basically right through the heart of the inland northwest, that representing the wind speeds of at least 40 miles per hour, but you see it at 53 in Spokane, 52 in Pullman. I believe the strongest I saw was at a 4th of July pass at 56 miles per hour earlier today. That happened at about 10 a.m. So those are the wind speeds so far this morning, and they'll remain to be that strong. In addition, there is some rain, but we kind of downplay the rain today because this is a lot lighter compared to yesterday or compared to the previous weekend. So some lighter rain still passing through the region, but the windstorm itself remains to be the priority through at least the remainder of the day today. So make sure to stay on guard for that and just monitor if there are any power outages across the region.
All right, my friend, thank you. And as we heard from Thomas, high winds sticking around for a bit, and in its wake, we could see some damage. The National Weather Service says downed trees, of course, a possibility, especially because the wet ground from the melting snow and rain makes it easier for those high winds to do damage. We've seen it before. Power lines are also always a concern. So we reached out to Avista, who says they'll continue to keep an eye on the forecast. Avista says they are standing by with crews ready to respond if indeed the power does go out. And remember, if you find a downed power line as a result of the wind or for any reason, do not go near it. Report it. All right. Coming in new at noon, Silver Mountain has closed today because of the high winds. This is a live look right now at the mountain, and you can see it. Boy, it is just blowing out there. Tom is telling us wind gusts in that area expected over 50 miles an hour. The resort does plan to reopen tomorrow. We'll certainly continue to monitor that. Tough day up on the mountain. US 2 is back open after being shut down due to flooded roads most of the day yesterday. So WashDOT says the biggest factor in the recent water buildup was the melting snow. Crews pumped water out of the roadway before then tackling the debris that came with it. Right now, WashDOT says it's important for drivers to keep an eye out for any standing water and certainly some of that debris, which is dangerous.
Use extreme caution. If it is bad enough to where we feel like it requires a road closure, we will be out there with closure signs and crews, making sure that the public's not putting themselves in danger. But if they could just also do us a favor, turn around, don't drown. We don't want folks driving through any standing water.
In the meantime, WashDOT is also advising drivers to factor in possible delays while driving. Crews say the continued scattered showers shouldn't, however, bring floods like we saw, say, over the weekend. A Sandpoint project to improve pedestrian safety is indeed moving forward. City councilors approved an agreement with the local Highway Technical Assistance Council that, when formalized, Sandpoint will receive $250,000 to help fund a new sidewalk and planter strip. This is along Division in the Sandpoint area. The project's first phase was completed in summer of 2023. Phase 2 is expected to take place this summer. However, the full project is estimated to cost more than $10 million. North Idaho College receiving some good news. Its show cause sanction status has now been reduced, and they got an extension to fix its remaining accreditation issues. The Northwest Commission on Colleges and Universities halted parts of that sanction they originally imposed on the college back in 2022. NIC said in a press release they learned the extension after making significant progress on the accreditation.